Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I hope all of you are in a great condition. Welcome to tourism class. In this video, we are going to discuss the tourism today. Yep, it's about the condition of tourism industry in the COVID-19 pandemic era. But before we discuss more about tourism in this era, let's recite Basmalah first. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you like traveling? I think most of you like it, right? Or even all of you like traveling? So do I. I also like traveling. Then, what type of tourism do you like? As explained in the previous video, traveling has a relation with tourism. And I mentioned some types of tourism there. So which one do you like? You may mention it on the comment box by explaining the reason. Maybe some of you like doing religious tourism. As we see in Kudus, usually there are so many people come to Kudus for having a religious tourism. Do you like the same? Then the next question is, what's that? Do you travel in this pandemic time? I think this pandemic time brings some changes on tourism. So there are some new habits in doing travel. We are going to explore more about it later on. Well, in this video, there are 3 big points that will be discussed. The first point that will be discussed is related to the COVID-19 pandemic. So how is the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on tourism? We are going to talk about it later too. So be focused, please. The second is about the adaptation. Because the coronavirus disease has been spread recently and we are on the pandemic time, consequently, the tourism industry should apply some adaptation. And the last is related to the new trend. Of course, there are some new trends in tourism in this pandemic time. It's the result of adaptation to the pandemic impact, so there are some new trends on tourism industry. Okay guys, the first discussion is about the effect of COVID-19 spreading on tourism. I'm sure you have known about it. As we know, in the recent condition, coronavirus disease or COVID-19 pandemic stopped almost all of the world's tourism activities. Okay, in this first picture, we can see the visitors of tourism places were going down drastically. Here are also some big impacts of COVID-19 on tourism. Here we can see in the next picture, most of hotels, tourism places, and tourism villages were closed. COVID-19 pandemic also brings an impact on about 11,000 tourism units. Most of tourism workers were being housed and many of them were also fired. Coronavirus spreading also gave an impact on the economic growth. It's going down for about 4.7%. And in this slide is also explained the prediction of loss of tourism industry, which include global transportation industry. So here is the last picture on the discussion about COVID-19 impact on tourism. It can be such a summary which describes some industry related to tourism that got a big impact. Yeah. Then, how is the adaptation of the tourism in the COVID-19 pandemic? Day by day, some of tourism places are opened, but it needs some adaptation. As we know, COVID-19 spreading give a positive impact on changing the life habits, especially in staying healthy. Some of the habits are wearing face masks, washing hands repeatedly or using hand sanitizer, and so on. In doing tourism, people got a compulsory role to wear a face mask, and it is important for them to bring some stuffs which are commonly used by them, so they do not need to use others. This effort is expected to minimize the spreading of COVID-19. Then, one step which has been applied by the government is by giving discount in solving the problem of visitor reduction. The government also fostered the domestic tourists and promote the tourism to South Korea, Japan, Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, USA, and Canada. Then, giving incentive to the tourism sector was also done by the government, and optimizing the domestic tourist potential. Those are some steps which were applied by the government. If you have more information, please kindly share it on the comment box. Now we move on to the next discussion. It is the trend of tourism in the era of COVID-19 pandemic. As I asked you in the beginning of this video, do you travel in this pandemic time? Maybe some of you did it, but it's not as often as before the pandemic, is it? Here are some new trends on tourism today. The first is staycation. People now prefer doing vacation which is not too far from their house. Then road trip is the second trend of today's tourism. It can be also done by riding bicycle, as we see lately. Many people do it, but in a group or individually. Do you do it so? Then virtual tourism has also appeared more recently. Volunteerism and natural tourism will also become the trends in this pandemic time. Then here are some infographics which describe some trends of tourism today. Natural tourism seems as the most favorite destination. Then Japan also promote the tourism by giving subsidy. It is a 50% discount. Are you interested? And then it is example of virtual tours, the Lawang Sewu. I think most of you have visited this tourist site, right? Then Ancol and some museums also did the same. Yeah, pandemic brings opportunities to transform the tourism industry. This crisis teaches us the ability to adapt. The pandemic makes hygiene and health standards in the tourism industry increasing. COVID-19 accelerates the evolution of industry and digitalization of all services. Digital marketing has become new normal, especially in the marketing of tourism products and services. It will also be more cost-effective for the long term. This is a new trend. This is new normal. Thank you. That's all my explanation. I'm sure that there are more information that haven't been mentioned here, so please kindly share your experiences on the comment box. See you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.